KOLD News 13 live at 10.
Every year, the Arizona Department of Corrections spends millions of dollars on programs dedicated to reducing the number of repeat offenders behind bars.
But are those dollars making a difference? Tonight, our Shaylee Sanders looks into just how many inmates currently incarcerated have been behind bars before and what the state is doing about it as KOLD investigates lockdown.
Nate McCowan's passion is filmmaking.
We just did that. As a cinematographer, may have mixed feelings about this, but I'm mixing light sources, but it looks really nice.
Nate was 22 and his career looked promising.
2007 is when I graduated from film school, came back to Tucson, started film production business. That's pretty good. I've always done things to the fullest, like whether it's chasing my dreams or making bad decisions.
A series of bad decisions fueled by substance abuse ultimately led to a life-changing one.
I decided to drive when I shouldn't have been driving, and I got in a car accident and I killed somebody.
Nate was sentenced to 10 years in prison.
It's been over 9 years and I still haven't fully dealt with any of that. You have to harden yourself, the compassion you have for yourself, the compassion you have for other people. In prison, that's not acceptable. That's considered weakness.
For nearly a decade, Nate would watch as inmates excited for their release and a second chance would return within a year or two.
When you're told that you're worthless criminal for years, how do you find the self-esteem, self-love to actually go and do something positive for yourself?
According to data from the Arizona Department of Corrections, of the more than 42,000 inmates incarcerated across the state last month, 50% of them had been there before. So the news that Nate would be released after serving a little more than 8.5 years didn't bring the relief you might imagine.
I needed hope. I needed hope.
Hope he wouldn't become a statistic.
I realized that if I can use my passion to create hope for other people, then that gives my life meaning.
Nate is now working on what he dreamed up in his cell, a documentary that captures the challenges of those adjusting to life outside of these walls. This documentary took him to a town hall in Phoenix.
I want people's voice to be heard.
There, former inmates and loved ones of those incarcerated shared personal stories.
My son was given a mandatory 5-year sentence for stealing 5 video games. 6 months before the riots and 9 months before he given his sentence, he was assaulted, died from his injuries.
And called for change.
For 10 years, our state prisons have been mismanaged, and families across the state have suffered as a result.
State Representative Diego Rodriguez attended that town hall and says he will take these concerns back to the state capitol.
We do want to make sure that in the process of forming policy that we have all of the best information that we can gather.
He says reducing the revolving door in and out of prison must be a priority.
We're going to be looking at how we can address the expansion of earned release credits to try to get more nonviolent offenders out of prison. We're going to look at getting them treatment while they're in. We're going to look at getting them support after they're released.
As some lawmakers fight for change, Nate will continue to tell people stories while he continues to shape his own.
I'm hoping that through this documentary, people realize that these are human beings that are in prison. If we remember that, then we realize that these conditions, the way they are now, can't continue.
Shaylee Sanders, KOLD investigates.
The city of Tucson